Hello and welcome to my first YouTube Live. And I'm a little nervous, a little excited, and I also have a cold. What fun is that? So I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining me. Uh, when I have some people join, I'd love to know if this is loud enough. Let's see if I can turn the sound up a bit. Not sure how that works. So I'm learning. So thank you for being here. Assuming you'll get to see this on the replay since I don't have anybody here yet, but we'll see how it goes and how this is going to grow over time. So, the reason I'm doing YouTube lives is that I've been doing Insight lives on the Insight Timer app for 3 years, maybe. I think it was before COVID. So, I think it was before the pandemic when I started. I know I've had meditations on the Insight Timer app for I don't know how many years, 2016, 2018, somewhere in there. Anyway, you get the idea. So I've been doing Insight Lives for however long, weekly, and the problem with that is that I can't do any advertising, I can't let you know anything that's going on in my world, and I also can't, share the recordings easily. It's a challenge to share the recordings. With YouTube, the recordings are there. So I'm hoping this is gonna serve everybody, serve me, serve you, serve whoever we're serving in the world to make big ripples, to make a difference. So, once again, thank you for being here. And I want to share that today we're going to be talking about the seeds of compassion, or the seed of compassion, is how Thich Nhat Hanh in this book, No Mud, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering, refers to it, the seed of compassion. So, we're going to start with a moment of a little meditation that I do called Elevate. And then I'll share this quote with you from this book, a little bit from this book. Then we're going to do some tapping and end with some meditation. So we'll be here 20, 30 minutes. All right. So I'm going to ask you to take a moment to close your eyes and just start taking some deep, nourishing breaths, just getting centered and grounded and arriving. Just allowing yourself to settle in, to really arrive here in this sacred space for you for today. I'm going to ask you to put your hand over your heart and tune into someone you really, really love, human or animal, currently on the planet or not. So, childhood pets are great for this, or maybe a grandparent, somebody that feels like unconditional love to you. See if you can find that in your heart and really tune into that special someone. And really allow yourself to feel that feeling of love that the special someone brings to mind for you. And if this feeling of love, gratitude, and appreciation has a color to you, then I'm going to ask you to tune into that color. So maybe it's pink, like the heart chakra, or green, pink or green for the heart chakra, actually. Maybe it's blue, maybe it's white. What does love feel like to you in this moment? And really tune into that, anchor it in, opening your eyes, coming back to here and now. So I see there's a couple people here with me. If you wouldn't mind, put in the chat if this is loud enough or if you're having trouble hearing me. Not sure how it's coming through, so I would appreciate it if you'd let me know. So we are going to talk about this book, Thich Nhat Hanh, and somebody on one of my Insight Timer lives told me how to pronounce his name correctly, so I was excited about that. Thich Nhat Hanh. So the idea of compassion, that we all have compassion within us. So I'm going to share with you a quote that was in my newsletter on Monday Musings that comes out on Mondays. And here's the quote. Every one of us has a seed of compassion. If you practice mindfulness of compassion every day, the seed of compassion in you will become strong. You need only concentrate on it, and it will come up as a powerful zone of energy, compassion within you becomes a powerful zone of energy. We can selectively water the good seeds and refrain from watering the negative seeds. So, another story that you've probably heard before is very similar to this. It's the story of feeding the two wolves, where the Native American elder is telling his grandson about that you have two wolves within you, and whichever one you feed. So one is good and positive and loving and caring, and the other one is very negative. That's not the exact words he uses. Anyway, negative, low energy, angry, resentful, stuck in that energy. And excuse me. And so by your thoughts, your beliefs, your vision, everything that you do, you can put your energy into one or the other. You can feed the positive energy wolf or the negative energy wolf. And this is the same idea. So I'm going to read this quote one more time and think about it from an energy perspective, meaning where you want to put your energy and how you would like to serve in the world and make a difference. So I'm going to read this one more time. Um, Every one of us has a seed of compassion. Every one of us has a seed of compassion. I don't know if that's true for narcissists, but this Thich Nhat Hanh is a little more optimistic than I am. Anyway, if you practice mindfulness of compassion every day, the seed of compassion in you will become strong. You need only concentrate on it, and it will come up as a powerful zone of energy. So my way of seeing that is where you put your energy, where you put your attention is where your energy flows. Where you are focusing is what you get in life. So if you're focusing on what's wrong in the world, the people you resent, so and so did this, and blame and complain and shame and all that, you get more of that in your life. If you focus on taking time to use your tools, and today we're going to be using tapping and meditation, taking time to use your tools to take good care of yourself, to grow the energy that you want to grow. So I'm going to grab a sip of tea. And I just want to say I'm not getting anything on the chat. So I don't know if you guys haven't tried to use the chat, or I see there's only one person with me right now and I'm not seeing it, or what. So if you're here, please put something on the chat so I can find out if it actually works. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. So I want to share another quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, and then we're going to get into some tapping. So this quote is, so remember, the title of this book is No Mud, No Lotus, The Art of Transforming Suffering. So Thich Nhat Hanh has the belief that we all have suffering in our lives. We all have pain in our lives. We all have hard times in our lives. Of course we do. We have losses. We have grief. We have physical things, health issues. We have financial issues, Anyway, so we all have times when things are rough or hard for us. And we are learning to use our tools to also grow into happiness, to grow into the more positive side, the divine part of ourselves, the soul part of ourselves, the higher part of ourselves. So I'm going to share this quote with you. The art of happiness is also the art of suffering well. When we learn to acknowledge, embrace, and understand our suffering, we suffer much less. Not only that, but we're also able to go further and transform our suffering into understanding, compassion, and joy for ourselves and others. So I'm going to read that one more time so that you can listen to it this time. The art of happiness is also the art of suffering well. The two go hand in hand. We have suffering sometimes in our life, and we have happiness sometimes in our life. The more we focus, the more we get one or the other. It doesn't mean you completely won't get it. It doesn't mean you'll never have suffering in your life. And you don't have to stay stuck there. One of my favorite sayings, and you don't have to stay stuck there. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that one in the chat. So, what I mean by you don't have to stay stuck there is yes, bad things will happen. Yes, you will have a hard time in your life. Yes, there are things like that. And you don't have to stay stuck there. Okay, let me finish the quote. When we learn to acknowledge, embrace, and understand our suffering, we suffer much less. When we learn to acknowledge it, it's here. Sometimes life is hard and it sucks. Admit it, deal with it, embrace it, and understand it. Come from a place of compassion. Not only that, but we're also able to go further and transform our suffering into understanding, compassion, and joy for ourselves and others. So, no more of that. I'm just going to speak from the heart. When we admit that things are hard, when we deal with the hard feelings, when we let ourselves cry, when we let ourselves feel sadness, when we let ourselves feel anger, when we let ourselves have the full range of emotions that we probably, or many of us, were not allowed to have as children. If you ever got the shut up or I'll give you something to cry about, or you're not hurt, you're fine. Any of the things that discounted your feelings in any way, and a lot of us did, then we learn to shut down. We learn to not allow ourselves to have all of our feelings. And my understanding is most of us live in what I call the distracted zone, here in the middle. We play on these things, right? We do this, we do YouTube, we scroll, we eat, we drink, whatever it is you use to distract yourself from your feelings, we all do it. And I'm not saying to stop doing it. I'm just saying if at times you can let that go and you can focus and let yourself feel what you're feeling. Yes, you'll go into the shadow side. Yes, you'll go into the sadness, but a beautiful thing happens. And of course, I use tapping to deal with it. Oh my gosh, I got to tell you guys, this is backwards. I'm seeing myself backwards. That's why I'm so confused here. So it's interesting on Insight Timer, however they have the camera, it's not backwards. So this is really funny for me. Anyway, and Zoom doesn't do this either. So this is interesting. I'm learning. So sorry, I digress. Okay. So I have no idea where I was. So give me a second to get centered again. I'm just going to take a deep breath. I'm going to ask you to take one too. Okay. So when you allow yourself to feel your feelings, go into the suffering, the sadness, the anger, whatever the low vibration feeling is that you're having, and let yourself be in it and feel it. Somatic experiencing would say, find it in your body, put your hand there, be compassionate and loving with that suffering. Another way of doing this, let me grab Bear. Hang on a minute. See, I reach this way, it's that way. That's what I mean. Everything's backwards. Anyway, if you can take your suffering, your hurting, your pain, and you can treat it like a baby or a little stuffed animal, and you can cuddle with it, and you can love it, and you can cry through it, or you can be angry, or whatever it is you need to do, if you will let yourself really go into it, you will get to the other side. And the beautiful thing that happens is you get up here, you get into the happy zone, the joy zone, the divine zone, the connection, the synchronicities. Your life changes, and more of your life is about connectedness to the divine. It's about connectedness to your higher self. It's about living in a whole different plane other than living in the distracted zone all the time. And most of us are stuck in the distracted zone. You're not going to totally avoid it. But I'm just saying, allow yourself to play with going into your feelings, allowing yourself to feel, and then you'll get to the higher vibration place. All right. So to do that, we're going to do some tapping today. So I'm going to ask you to tune in to something in your life that is hard for you right now. Something that when you don't go into the hardest, worst thing because we're doing this on YouTube. We're not doing it in person. So when I work with my clients privately, we definitely go into the hard stuff. And three of them have popped in my head. Three recent sessions with clients where I sat with them, basically holding their hand, even though we're on Zoom doing it, and letting them cry, letting them feel, letting them vent. And invariably, by the end of the session or by the next day, because sometimes it's not as quick as the hour that we have together, I'll get a text or they'll let me know at the end of the session, I feel so much better. Thank you so much. It happens every single time. And we have so much fear of allowing ourselves to feel. And I'm asking you to grow compassion for yourself, grow compassion for that hurting part of you, the inner child or the inner children, the wounded child, whatever you want to call it, the part of you that is sad, the part of you that is lonely, the part of you is disappointed, the part of you that is angry, the part of you that, has whatever it is. The more you'll sit with that, be compassionate with it, the better you'll be. So let's do some tapping. So I'm going to give you my very quick how to tap, how to do EFT, and let you know that next week I will be doing it will be at 8:30 instead of 9 Eastern, whatever time that is for you next Friday, where we'll be doing the basics of EFT. So I will be going into the science behind it and all of that. But today, EFT tapping, we are just going to be going to the side of the hand and we're going to be doing what's called a set up phrase or a balancing statement. And it's going to be, even though I feel this anger, sadness, whatever it is, and if anybody is here and would like to share what the main emotion is that you feel when you tune into whatever it is that's bothering you today, I'd love for you to put that in the chat so I can focus on it in the tapping. Okay, I'm slowing down. Okay, so we go to the side of the hand and we do a balancing phrase or setup statement, which will be something along the line of, even though there's so much frustration in my life, or so much overwhelm in my life, or there's so much going on in my life, whatever it is, I'm learning to be compassionate and gentle with myself. Okay, so it's going to be a two-parter. Even though this is what's going on, I'm leaning toward this. Okay, then we're going to do a round of tapping. So we'll be going to the eyebrow point first, gently tapping. Oh, it's so messing with my mind that it's backwards. And then the side of the eye, 2 fingers, 1 hand or 2, under the eye. So those are the 3 tapping points in EFT: around the eye, eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose. Chin is the indentation between the lip and the chin. Collarbone, you find your collarbones, go down about an inch and out about an inch. So it's a little bit lower. It's a little, it's the wrong direction again. Everything's backwards. So sorry. I got to get used to that, obviously. The next point is the underarm point. So for the ladies, that's the bottom of the bra line. Oh my gosh, everything's backwards. So down here, speaking of bra line, and it's this side. Oh, this is so funny. All right, and the last one is the top of the head. So those are the 9 points we're using today: the side of the hand, the 3 around the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and you can do crossbody, and top of the head. All right, so I'm going to ask you to tune in to whatever it is that's bothering you, whatever you're focused on that's a concern or a worry for you today. And take a deep breath. Grab a sip of water or tea or whatever you're drinking. It's important to stay well hydrated. And with my respiratory stuff going on, I definitely need it. Okay, going to the side of the hand. Even though there are things going on in my life. Oh, I forgot to say repeat after me out loud, preferably. Even though there is so much going on in my life, and it leaves me feeling sad or angry or frustrated, today I'm choosing to allow myself to feel my feelings, process my feelings, and be compassionate and gentle with myself. We're going to go ahead and go around the points. There is stuff going on in my life, and so much going on in the world. And I have a lot of feelings about this. Maybe I'm feeling angry or frustrated or helpless or hopeless or sad. So really tune into whatever emotion's resonating with you right now. And now tune into where you feel it in your body. And I feel this emotion in my body. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's sadness, frustration, overwhelm, helplessness, hopelessness. And I'm just acknowledging how I feel. And I'm tuning into where I feel it in my body. And I'm allowing myself to feel. So give yourself a second just to really feel while we tap. And take a deep breath with me. And we're going to switch gears a little bit. So we're going to start over again on the side of the hand. So even though there's so much going on in my life, and I have all these emotions about it, I'm choosing to see a new perspective. So even though there's so much going on in my life, I wonder if I can see this differently today. So even though there's so much going on, I'm leaning into being more compassionate and understanding with myself and others. All right, I'm allowing in more compassion. I'm allowing in more hope. I'm choosing to focus on a different way of seeing this. And as I become more compassionate with myself, I'm learning to be more compassionate and understanding with others. I'm allowing myself to feel all my feelings. And I'm allowing myself to get to the other side. I'm allowing my heart to hold suffering and happiness at the same time. I'm allowing my brain to hold suffering and happiness at the same time. And I'm choosing to focus on possibilities and happiness. I'm choosing to focus on the possibilities. What if this is just a learning and growing experience? And everything is happening in divine right order. And the one constant in life is change. So wherever I am now, I might be somewhere different soon. I'm choosing to feed the positive wolf, and I'm growing happiness and joy in my life today. And I'm going to ask you to stop tapping, put your hands over your heart, take a deep, nourishing breath with me. Tune in to happiness, joy, and gratitude, especially gratitude. Allowing yourself to feel hopeful, joyful, grateful as much as you can today. And if this feeling has a color to you, tune into that color. And imagine filling every single cell in your body with this energy of happiness, joy, compassion, tenderness, and gratitude. Anchor that in. And now imagine spreading that energy of love, of happiness, of joy, of gratitude out into the world, that you're radiating it out from your heart out to everyone, your family, your friends, your community, your country, the whole world. And as you spread your love, your joy, your hope, your gratitude out into the world, it comes back to you multiplied. It's an infinity loop, and the more love, light, and happiness you send out into the world, the more it comes back to you. Anchor that in and just allow. And now opening your eyes, coming back to here and now, hopefully feeling refreshed, renewed, revitalized, and ready to go out into your day with a higher, more positive, joyful energy. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be here on YouTube Friday mornings, 8:30 Eastern next week, which is March 8th. So March 8th, I'll be here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, so 6:30 in the Pacific. What is that for you guys in the UK? I don't know, 1:30, I think, maybe? I don't know, I'd have to think that one through. Anyway, thank you so much for being with me. I hope you have a fabulous week. I also do this Tuesdays on Insight Timer on the Insight Timer app at 2 p.m. Eastern, so 11 Pacific, 7 p.m. in the UK. And thank you all. Namaste and blessings to you all. Thank you for joining me. Bye.